I read 12 books in January and February. Let's talk about it. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my usually monthly wrap-up for all of the books I've read in that month, but I'm probably going to end up doing these every 2 months. Let's just jump right in. I read 12 books in the month of January and February. So if you guys have seen my other videos, you have seen my reading journal. This is where I keep track of all the books I've read and what I rate them. We're just gonna start from the very beginning. First book is not a surprise, being Onyx by Rebecca Yarros. If you guys haven't watched the reading vlog for this book yet, definitely go check it out because I go really deep into what my theories are and my thoughts on the book. If you guys don't know Fourth Wing, this is a war college where you are trained to ride dragons. And that sounds really epic, right? And it is. I loved Fourth Wing and I loved Iron Flame. This one was just a little bit of a disappointment in my opinion. I've heard people love this book and like I can see why they love it and I can see why people would enjoy it, but just for me, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did for the other books. What I found lacking was the information. I feel like we got a little bit of a lot of things. It just left me really unsatisfied because I was hoping to get more information on the world building and more character development, but I feel like we were very stagnant on the character development. Each character felt the same throughout the entire book. Violet obviously has gotten stronger, and just mentally wise, felt like every character just felt kind of flat. It was okay, and I still obviously love the characters because I love this series and I want to see this through. There was a lot of information for the world building that could have been done that wasn't, and maybe because this was a filler book, so I ended up giving Onyx Storm a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Again, I still enjoy the book and I do plan on continuing this series because I do want to see how this ends. This might just be like a one-off thing because I loved Fourth Wing and I also loved Iron Flame. This one just didn't hit as hard, which is fine. Not every book in a series will, but that is the first book I read in 2025. The next one I picked up is also a part of a series, and that's Reckless. This is by Lauren Roberts. This is the second main book, but third physical book of the series, if that makes sense. There's a novella in between the first and second. This was one of the books that I was really anticipating for 2025, and it did not deliver. I don't even think this was released in 2025. I just read this in 2025. The cat and mouse chase that is this book, I just don't understand why we did this. This 100% felt like a filler book. I loved the first book. It was tension-filled, action-filled, funny, loved the characters, loved the world. It was just so fun to be in because it was like a Hunger Games as trial, magic, and royals. But this one, it just gave off, she got caught, she escaped, caught, escaped, caught, escaped, and it was just on a cycle throughout the entire book. The characters, I obviously still really like them, but the tension wasn't there anymore. It just felt more bland, I guess, and irritating, a little bit irritating, because imagine this is not the exact case in these books, but imagine like the main character putting a knife to his neck and being like, I could kill you, I'm gonna kill you, blah, 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 multiple times in this book, not doing anything, and he's always like, do it then, do it then, do it then, and she doesn't. And I'm like, okay, so why are you threatening him 5, 6, 7 times already and not going through with it and expecting him to think that you're gonna go through with it the 3rd time? But the next book is coming out in April, I believe, and I'm gonna read it. Why am I gonna read it? Because I love the first book and I love the novella. I'm just gonna pretend that this one didn't really happen. I'm just gonna be like, oh, they did all of this stuff, blah, 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 and now we're back. Hopefully the 3rd one is better. I'm not gonna get my hopes up too high because I feel like I've been burned a lot lately, but I ended up giving Reckless a 3.25 because I still loved the world and I still enjoyed the characters and being back in it. And I think I lied. I think I might have read this first. I definitely read this first. Before Onyx Storm, I read this one first. This is the book that I picked up when I started back on my booktube and started reading again. I think that made me a little bit biased because I missed reading and I really missed fantasy. So going back into this, it just felt really good to be back in a magical world with characters that I really like. Kai carried. I love a strong female lead, but Kai carried this book. The next one I read on my Kindle, and that is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Where do I even start? I just want to preface that I did not hate this book, and I also did not think it was a great book. It's one of those where it's a guilty pleasure kind of situation. So like imagine Twilight, but instead of Bella ending up with Edward, she ends up with an alpha male werewolf. Ooh, that sounded really cringe. I might not leave that in the video because that was really cringe. She ends up with a werewolf that is the alpha of his pack. It's exactly what you're thinking. It is so stupid, but it was so fun to read. If you guys have ever read fan fiction or been on AO3, it was giving that. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Do I recommend to everyone? No. I do not recommend this book to everyone or anyone unless I know that you enjoy a good, stupid, paranormal romance. Because if you are not used to like vampire werewolf romance fanfiction or Wattpad books, this might be really, really awkward to read because it's all your typical tropes. It's all of your like forced proximity, fake marriage. He's so much bigger than her, even though she's like almost 6 feet tall. Why is he still so big? And like all of the vampire werewolf stuff, it's there. Some people are just gonna be like, what does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean this is happening right now? It's just such a funny read. I really enjoyed it because Misery, yes, her name is Misery. She is so funny. She's so funny. So you have Misery. She is the daughter of the leader of the vampire tribe. And then you have, oh my god, I forgot his name. I'm just gonna put it on the screen. He is the new alpha of the pack. That's so funny to say out loud. And they are forced into a marriage, a convenience where it's a treaty basically. But she agreed to the marriage for her own reasons because she is trying to solve a mystery. It was just so stupid. It was lighthearted, it was stupid, and I really enjoyed it. She's hilarious. I gave Bride 3 stars because I enjoyed it. Sue me, I enjoyed it. The next book I picked up is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I've had this book for a good bit. Lynn Painter is my YA Allie Hazelwood. There's something about her books just feel very rom-com-y. Obviously, I like a good adult romance where the themes and topics are more mature and the characters are more mature. But other times I'm like, I just want a rom-com book of cute little lovey-dovey stuff. So I love Lynn Painter's YA stuff a lot more than her adult stuff. To be fair, I've only read one of her adult romances and it was okay, it wasn't bad. This is a kind of Groundhog Day where our main character, Emily, is repeating Valentine's Day over and over and over again. So in the beginning of the book is the first day and she has a terrible Valentine's Day. The next day she wakes up, it's Valentine's Day again. And she goes through this so many times, but don't worry, you don't read every single day. It starts skipping, it's not really repetitive, and every single day she ends up having an encounter with Nick. Because no matter what she does, she always gets in a car accident that very first morning of Valentine's Day, and oh, it's always him. It's always him, and a romance kind of blossoms from it. It's really cute. I really enjoyed this. I actually listened to this on audiobook halfway through because I was doing like chores or my journaling, and it's such a fun audiobook because it's just so cute. If you can just imagine a playlist of YA rom-com music playing in the background while this is all going on, it's just fun. It's lighthearted and it's cute. I was really worried that this was going to be super repetitive because of obviously the concept of the book, but it wasn't. I actually really enjoyed it, and it was such a fast read. I actually read this in less than a day, and I gave this book a 3.5. Alright, next up is Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. This is the 3rd book in the Truly Devious series. If I'm being honest, it could just be a standalone because they aren't in the same setting. You just have the same characters. I mean, I wouldn't recommend reading this by itself, but I actually really like this book a lot more than the other 2. So this is about Stevie Bell. She loves true crime. In the first 2 books, she's at a private boarding school that caters to gifts and talents of these students who are really intelligent in what they do. But this one is set in a summer school situation, and I really enjoy this because, I don't know, it just felt more cohesive, I think. I love true crime, and I liked this crime. No, I did not like the crime better. I thought the crime was more fascinating in this one than it was in the first 2 books. The plot twists were a lot better in this one, in my opinion. I wouldn't say I was on the edge of my seat, really, because this is a YA mystery. It's not like that intense, but I did really enjoy some things that did get me a little anxious. I gave this one a 3.25. You guys can obviously see the theme here. I've enjoyed the books that I read, but I did not love them. They're all kind of like average. The next one I also read on my Kindle, and it was Icebreaker. So Icebreaker is a book that I'm reading for a video that you guys will see in the future. So I'm not gonna go too deep into it, and I'm actually gonna leave off the rating. It's an adult romance. It's actually very spicy. Okay, let me just preface, to a not spicy reader, it's very spicy to me. But obviously there are people out there that like enjoy the genre and have read really dark or really spicy things. This might be like nothing to you, but to me this is a really spicy book, and I went into this thinking that it was just gonna be one of those no plot, just smut. But I let go of that and realized that I can enjoy this book. And if you guys haven't heard of Icebreaker, which it would be very surprising because it is a very, very popular BookTok book, but it's a romance between a figure skater and a hockey player. One day something happens to one of the two rinks, so they end up having to share a rink. And Anastasia, our main character, is not happy about that. She befriends the hockey players, a romance blooms. It's very much giving college life, and you're just following her through her college life, which is nice and refreshing, if I'm being honest, because it wasn't predictable and I enjoyed that. For my rating, definitely go check out that video when it does come out. Are we surprised that I picked up another Ali Hazelwood book? Absolutely not. And this is her YA debut, and I really, really enjoyed this book, guys. There's something about YA romances that are just so cute. I do love a good YA romance, and I was really excited to hear that one of my favorite romance writers was coming out with her first YA book. I thought it was, obviously it was fast-paced because it's YA. This follows Mallory, or Mal, and she is a very good chess player, but she quit chess for unknown reasons, refuses to play until one day she goes into a tournament, beats literally the #1 player in the world, Nolan Sawyer. And so people are like, who is this girl? And she gets an opportunity to become a professional chess player, make money because she needs to help her family. And I thought the chess moments were really fun because my boyfriend, Philip, loves chess. He loves it a lot more than I do. I like chess and I'll play chess, but he is the type to really look into the strategies and know the names of different moves. Like the Queen's Gambit I learned from him is a starting move. I didn't know that. I knew it was a chess thing, but I did not know what it meant. I didn't obviously see him as Nolan Sawyer because, not to be rude, babe, but you are not as good as a chess player as Nolan, because Nolan is #1 in the world. Some things I didn't like about this book was Mallory got a little bit annoying at times just because of how she treats people, which I understand that there were reasoning behind it, but it just got on my nerves a little bit. Regardless, I still had a lot of fun with this book, and I ended up giving it a 3.25. Can we see a theme going on here? It is all in the 3s. These were not rated 3s. These are all 5 stars from okay, this is a 5-star series for me, and it was a reread. If you guys haven't checked out the reading vlog yet, definitely go check it out because I reread The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. This is one of my favorite, like, top tier series of all time. I will never stop raving about these books. I love the characters, I love the world, and I just love being in the Shadowhunter world. And I was really scared that rereading this series was going to put me back into a reading slump. Not because they're bad, but obviously because they're so good. No other book meeting the same standards after that. You know, that feeling? This is my second time reading this series. The first time was about 2 or 3 years ago, and I never read it again because it is so heartbreaking. It tears your heart out, but it's such a beautiful story about friendship and love and found family, and I love found family. I love a good found family, so I ate this thing up. I just love. I cannot tell you enough how much I love this series. And if you guys don't know, this is a story about Tessa. She is an American who moves to London because her brother tells her to live with him when her aunt dies. When she gets to London, she's kidnapped by these people, and she finds out that she has magical powers, and then is rescued by the Shadowhunters. The Shadowhunters are half human, half angels who protect humans from downworlders and also demons. And downworlders are their way of saying like vampires, werewolves, fairies, all of the magical creatures in this magical world. The whole story, Tessa is trying to figure out who she is and why she has these powers, what is her family history, what happened to her brother, and obviously fight this main villain that has his own objectives. That is all fun and dandy. I love that. But the main thing I love about this series are the friendships and the relationships in this book, because I will be so completely honest with you, this is the only series that I've ever actually liked a love triangle. I usually hate that trope. I hate it. I'm like, you obviously know who she's gonna end up with. Why do we have this annoying little gnat going around trying to ruin the relationship? Like, it's just annoying. But in this one, it's done so beautifully. You do not hate the characters because you knew they had their own reasoning behind things. The love that you feel from their relationships and their friendships, chef's kiss. And then there are other characters that are a part of the found family that you end up loving also, because they're just so good to each other and you can truly tell how much they care for each other. And I just love a good found family. So ooh, this is such a heartbreaking story. If you guys know, you know. This entire series is a 5-star, obviously. The reading vlog that I did for these books, I annotated and highlighted a lot of quotes, and I read a lot of the quotes that did not spoil the story. I personally think that was a really fun video, so if you are interested in these books, definitely go check it out. It is spoiler free. Who is this by? Ali Hazelwood. Yep. Another Ali Hazelwood book. This one is an adult romance. It follows Rue and Eli. It is dual POV. Rue is a scientist who is trying to figure out how to prolong the shelf life of produce, and Eli is a part of a financial company that is trying to buy out Rue's company. That is where the conflict is. Their unexpected run-in at the beginning of the book kind of catapults them into a forbidden romance situation. I think the concept is there, but I just didn't enjoy it. I did not really like the characters. I didn't like the plot. I wasn't interested. Most of the time, I just did not care. And that's so heartbreaking to say because Ali Hazelwood is one of my favorite authors. Obviously, I raved about her already in this video, but this one just was not hitting for me. It was not fun to me. I just felt kind of bored the entire time, and the characters, I didn't feel anything for them. Like, they will tell me these things about their childhood or like their traumas, and I'm like, sorry, don't care. One of the main things about this book is the spice level. Again, I personally do not love smut that much, and I respect people that do. I do not judge if that is what you like, but this one just felt so pointless to me because I'm like, you're using your lust for each other as the reasoning to stay close to each other. These two adults have so many issues and other problems in their life right now, but they just wanna fuck. They just wanna fuck. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You're grown adults. That's your prerogative. That's fine. But I just did not enjoy reading it. It just felt too much for me, and I could not get into the characters because every single time you're in their POVs and they see each other, they're like, he's so hot or she's so hot, and oh, the things I want to do, blah, 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 blah. What about your company? What about your company? I just could not take it seriously. Obviously, I didn't hate it enough to even stop the audiobook, so I didn't feel like it was a 1-star. I was gonna give it a 2-star, but I think the explanation at the end made it a 2.5. Would I recommend this book to anyone? No, I wouldn't. I'm worried about Deep End because people say Deep End is also kind of really smutty, less plot, so I'm worried about it, but I think I'm still gonna read it just to give it a chance and give my own opinions rather than hearing other people's opinions about it. First Ali Hazelwood book that did not hit in any way, shape, or form for me personally. The last book I read in February was Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This is the second book in the duology after Divine Rivals. Honestly, I was just kind of like with it. Cool, I guess. What happened at the end of Divine Rivals made me really like excited to read this one, but I didn't feel the anxiety that I think I was supposed to feel, and I didn't care anymore. I think it just felt like the stakes weren't that high even though it was war. I don't know why I felt that way, because obviously it's war, the stakes are very high, but it just felt really meh. It just didn't invoke the feelings that I was expecting it would. The main thing in these books are the the letters and the writing the main characters write to each other, and they are still very beautiful, and I love that romance. I wasn't anticipating anything, I was just there. I think the second half of the book was a lot better than the first half. If you can get through the first half, I think the second half is a lot more enjoyable. Things are actually happening, and that's what really pushed the rating up for me. I ended up rating this book a 3-star because, again, the second half was entertaining and I did have fun. I didn't love how it ended, and I didn't love the certain events that led up to that ending, but that's okay. It is not my book. But I can confidently say that I liked Divine Rivals a lot more than I did Ruthless Vows. Alright, those are all of the books I read in January and February. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Let me know if you like this style of wrap-ups where I give you guys the themed photos to give you the vibe of the stories. The upcoming months, March and April, I'm anticipating a lot of new releases, so I'm excited to see you guys again. I hope you found at least 1 or 2 books interesting that you can put on your TBR, and let me know if you read any of these. If you read the Infernal Devices, please, please, please let me know how you feel about them. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!